So if you have an existing blog or you're wanting to start a new blog and get it on the right foot, in general, if you're looking to take your blog to the next level, incorporate it into the rest of your content production, generally like get the most out of it, and you incorporate effective strategies for blogging, and getting things out of blogging. What are your options? What strategies can you take that actually get results? That's what I'm going to be talking about on this episode of the BB&J podcast. I'm your host, John Lint. Great to see you. Let's get into it. So, why is blogging important? This is something that I addressed in a previous podcast, something that, I do talk about because I do value it. I perhaps don't blog as much as I should, but you go to bbdigitallab.com. I guarantee you'll see some blogs, hopefully some that you enjoy, hopefully some that you resonate with. For some of our clients, I pride myself as a copywriter, and part of that is developing blogs. It's for videos, it's that important aspect of distribution that gets yourself out across different platforms. If you're writing to inform, to engage, to entertain, it is an incredibly wonderful way to get people really invested in engaged with your specific unique voice, right? So that's all good and well. It's important, but how can you keep things current? What steps can you take to keep your subjects up to date, relevant to the modern day? There's some very easy ways. Reading other people's blogs in your demographic is the easiest way to find out what people are writing about, right? If you want to know what subjects are trending, what subjects are popular, you should be reading blogs in your demographic, okay? These people who are creating engaging blogs are doing this, right? It can be as simple as, it's National Apple Awareness Month, so here's a blog about apples. Having your subjects be relevant. I know, and because I have the same issue too. It's like, oh, well, what if someone goes back in 20 years and they're like, oh, this isn't really relevant to modern day? How many people are reading your blog now? How many people are going to be reading it in 5 months? It's important to have evergreen content. It's invaluable to recognize that. Something people can refer to, something that you can refer to that'll still be relevant. It's also very important to have present, modern, up-to-date, locally relevant content, because people are going to be searching that stuff. Are people going to be searching those general evergreen content subjects? Yeah. And if you can get those that people are consistently searching in large amounts, by all means. But here's the fact of the matter. Searches for specific things will have spikes, right? Certain subjects will peak. Get in on that wave. Go all out. These search waves, if you will, these interest waves of content are great. You jump on it, you get on it, you write it out. I promise you, you're going to get results. So having current, modern, updated blogs is important. I also recognize that evergreen content is also great, but you need evergreen content, absolutely, and you kind of keep that as your circling base you can refer to. But the majority of your content should still be localized, should still be time specific. get that SEO, get those searches. I talk about SEO some. I have spoken many of my colleagues. They're just freaking geniuses with SEO, and they'll tell you the same thing. Those localized trends are going to improve your SEO, how easily people find you, and if you keep up with it, just like keeping up with SEO, I promise you it'll make a world of difference. So what are you waiting for? Go get it. The next thing, which kind of relates to that evergreen content, beyond that, evergreen content, the best of it, with the best of local relevance, is a series. If you create a content series, regardless of whether or not it's blogging, that's going to be engaging. People are going to go on that rabbit hole. Reading one blog to another. I mean, I remember I had another colleague of mine who described the way that he approached YouTube as like, he was like, what I want is to just start at a video, get on a playlist, and just go through it all. Just basically binge watch a series. People want to do that with blogs too. They're like, I mean, how many times has it happened? I can remember all the times. It's like, top 5 Disney villains who were more appealing than the main character. Oh, and then it's like Disney villains reimagined as, I don't know, monster trucks, and then you just keep going down that recommendation rabbit hole, right? And if you can get on that, if you can create something like that content series, you can get people in that rabbit hole. You can get people reading blog after blog and create a much more, almost like a loop or a cycle, a chain of engagement, which is going to make your content be that much better. I mean, we try to do this. We try to do the same thing with the podcast. I took a look at what we were doing, and I was like, well, gosh, I should be making playlists, not just of the podcast, but I should be making playlists of specific series within the podcast, marketing related. Because if someone's like, oh, I really want to look at like marketing specific ads management and ad campaigns specifically, I'll be honest, I'm not the ads manager of BB Digital Lab. Bridget is. And the videos that she make offer that expert industry insight that, I mean, I'm genuinely impressed, and a lot of people are. A lot of people want to watch that. So I'm making it easy for people to easily find those videos, go through them, get that curated knowledge and information from her. Same must be done with a blog. I promise you, it might take a little bit of work. It's like, gosh, I have to stick with the theme. I can't just like write about whatever. It'll make a world of difference. Having a blog, writing about what you care about, very important, obviously. But educating, informing, entertaining people, and more people obviously would be better, right? Than fewer. If you're writing for entertainment, you want to bring more joy to the world. If you're writing to inform, you want to get more people informed. If you're thinking a little bit more like, well, how is this going to help me? Writing from this perspective, writing these series that people can get a lot out of, means that they're going to see you as a curator of information. They're going to see you as an expert that they can trust. And if down the line you provide additional resources, courses, right, trainings, paid groups, they're going to be a lot more likely to trust you. They're going to want to work with you. If blogging is part of your business, go for it. Keep going at it. The last thing that I'd like to talk to you about which I've kind of been touching on, is you have this excellent content, you have this series, you have all the, this, yada, 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 right? But the question is, how do you develop an effective strategy to distribute your content? Getting your content out there is to get your content out there, to get it engaging effectively. It's really a question of two things, or it's really approaching it from two different ways. The first thing is, where is your audience? What platforms are they on? This is true for any content you're producing, but especially blogs. If you're producing content and people will read that on a specific platform, be on that platform. It's really that simple. As with everything else, posting on those things will make a world of difference. I promise you. If you write fan fiction, post that on Wattpad or like fan fiction. I'm sure that there's like fanfiction.net or something. If you're posting industry information, industry insights, get that stuff on Flipboard, man. Try to get on, and that's really my second piece of advice. Get on all the platforms that you can easily distribute. If you have to do a ton of stuff that's not a good use of your time, that might be something you need to shy away from with blogging. But if you can just boom, boom, copy, paste, include the images, include the title, post across all these platforms, or I mean, heck, if you can cross post, why aren't you? And it's not like it's anything insane. It's going to take some work and due diligence on your part. But if you do that, you're going to get much more easily what you're looking for from your podcast. Not from your podcast. That's what I'm doing. From your blog. You'll get people. I mean, we're talking about vanity metrics. People saying that they read your blog. Chef's kiss. It is so wonderful to have people that talk about the content they read about you, that you created online. Blogging, it's wonderful. Are you going to encounter the periodic hater? Yeah, but that happens regardless of what platform you're on, regardless of what you're posting on. Gosh, I remember a few years ago, there was this one community that I had been posting on. I will admit my content wasn't the greatest. I was a teen. Not like, it was just low quality memes, but someone literally said, why I'm leaving this community? It's because of you specifically. Like, you, John, are the reason that I'm leaving this community. I absolutely hate the content you're producing. And it's not, I wasn't like poo-pooing on people. I was just making some mediocre memes. You just got to deal with it. I recognize that now. That being said, I recognize that for some people it's a lot harder than others, and that can be tough. The level of, there are people who are just out there to give you a lot of hate, and for that, the best thing I can do is say focus on the comments that engage, that provide insight beyond just like like saying this is great. Like the ones that are like, oh, that's so interesting. Can you elaborate on X, Y, and Z? And just stay out of those comments down the chain. Stay out of those comments that are just attacking you for, I don't know, ridiculousness, attacking you for the sake of attacking you, right? kind of not where I started, but I did think that that was important. You know, we talk about these kind of lighter things, these positive things, but it's important to recognize that, I mean, just like spammers, scammers, all that exist online, people who are just looking to have a fun at other people's expense are there. And it can be tough. It can be really hard. It's important to focus on the people who are looking to support and elevate us. Okay, I'm good, but that's enough on that. And I'll step down off of my soapbox now. I'd like to thank you so much for listening and or watching. Let me know if you enjoy this, or if you want to learn more about, have specific questions or recommendations about blogging and improving your long form text content. But like I said, that's all I have for you for this week. Thank you so much for listening. See you next time.